I thought I would just come on a few minutes early because I was just sitting here saying, well, I'll just wait if I'm waiting for 2 minutes. But since you guys were in the stream already, I thought I would just come on. I've got my shades open today. I thought I'd have a little bit of sunlight in here. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I didn't do that much. Ready for the week ahead. Ash, you must be excited for the week ahead, starting your new challenge. It is Independence Day, right? Am I right in saying it's Independence Day in the US, so the US is not open today? Which may mean it might be quiet, a little bit quiet tonight, but that's okay. It's a Monday anyway. 4th of July, happy 4th of July, mate. This morning, you put a few ideas in, right? In trade ideas, I think. Aussie Swiss and Swiss Yen. Aussie Swiss TP1 hit. Aussie dollar short. Aussie dollar. So, okay, you're in 2, right? You're in 2? 2 negative, 1 positive, 1 running. Okay. Okay, good. Hey, Silver. Morning, mate. Okay, let's get into the markets, shall we? Quite a big watch list. It's been quite a big for quite some time. I'm hoping I'm going to get a few trades this week, but let's see. Let's see. I'll go into my open one, EURUSD. I did think last week about putting the stop to break even, but my rules technically say we got to break this proper level, and you know, if we broke it underneath here, I probably would. I'm just giving this a little bit of time. You know, time is obviously your friend in trading. And it's still looking fine. You know, it's still looking fine. Yes, we've had a gap up. I want to see, again, as I said on Friday, I don't buy this. I'm not sure I buy this either. For me, EURUSD to the downside makes much more sense technically and fundamentally. But obviously, I could be completely wrong. So from a trading-wise, obviously in this, I think I'm up, what was it, 250. So that's about 2.something%, 2.25%, I believe. We've got our initial basing structure. So if we're getting maybe a slight squeeze into this zone, again, it could be an additional position that I add for a breakout on EU to the downside. I like the chart. I like where it is. So I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm not worried about it. I know we've had a slight gap. We could get a potential inside bar on this daily, which is bearish for me. But EU downs still makes sense. Morning, John. So I'm in it. And I'm just sitting on my bum waiting, which, as we know, is most of trading, really. Most of trading. So SPX today, decent drop to the downside. The daily, I mean, it could be, even though I was saying that this is enough, it could be this. I don't know whether this sustains. I think if we didn't have as much digestion here, I'd be a bit more comfortable seeing a complex corrective back. We still could have that. Absolutely, we still could have that. Obviously, NFP this week, employment data out this week, Independence Day today. We may not have some massive movement throughout this week until what I'm presuming is the market looking out for what's happening on Friday. Morning, James. But I mean, this is an OBE. It is an OBE coming on increased volume, so maybe you could see this market trundle up till Friday. Personal buys would be then it kind of falls down, but from a 4-hour perspective, it does look good down. You know, you're looking at potentially a setup at this area from this V reversal corrective back in. I haven't put on my watch list because I was umming and ahhing on what the level was, and I think with the likes of the Nasdaq, etc., I think they're a bit more clean, and with the amount of trades I've got on my watch list, you know, I'm kind of picking the best ones that I like. So, you know, this for me at the moment on the 4-hour does look to be within this channel, but ultimately bias has got to be down, and I will continue with that bias. So risk off, slight corrective, but I do think sellers will come in and the market will start to fall. But we could get a complex. Let's see. I'm not massively worried about predicting where this market is going. We have seen some yen strength. I don't think that risk sentiment right now is correlating enough. So, you know, we do it as we do every morning, and when you get that flow and fluidity, we're not getting that yet. So let's just see what happens. The dollar's still setting up from a 4-hour perspective. Again, inverted EURUSD really here. So if you're looking for a squeeze into the area, that could happen. Slight fake out to the upside here, which, thinking about how I see markets and, coming from slightly deep, this is usually when you see a slight fake out here. But I do think this is still setting up for a potential, long in the dollar index, depending on what that spread looks like. But ultimately, buys for the dollar is up. Yes, we've got some wick to the upside here. That could come into play. It's not wicks that I massively worry around. It's not really technical inverted hammers with that 2/3 rule of candle to wick or body to wick ratio. So again, I've got to go with the overall bias, and my overall bias for the dollar is up. Right? It may come down and correct, but ultimately, I'm still looking for dollar longs, and I think that has to be a play, right? I don't know whether anybody else is thinking opposite of me. Anybody thinking the opposite of me for dollar shorts? I could understand it. I understand the weekly. We've had a hell of a run in the dollar, but, decent week last week. I just think the dollar long is the play. And I think it's a safer play. I think it's a safer play right now. Agree? Disagree? Game's about opinions. Data coming Friday, yeah. Data, yeah. But would that? Yes, okay, it's going to have an effect, but how much of effect do you think it'll have? Maybe shorter term volatility. Could be a double top daily. Yep, could be a double top daily. Yeah. But overall bias. But it will be interesting, the numbers on Friday, as they always are. CPI is the main name of the game right now. Yeah. Bit of the economy coming to a stall here, yeah, which I think positively will strengthen up the dollar. That's kind of my personal view, but I could be wrong. Morning, Stu. Looking long, John. Yeah. Looking long, John. But I agree. There's an argument here for as Silver says, slight double top. There is slight wicks there. Fair enough. It's not a technical inverted hammer. I'm just going by market structure previously, where we have that corrective. We're kind of breaking out from it. We're tagging that area which you're expecting a little bit of reaction from. Slight fake out here, but if we can get a little bit of a squeeze coming up here, then yeah, I'll be more comfortable. And until we get that pattern progressing, then I still think dollar long. I wouldn't be as comfortable until probably the next Tuesday, Wednesday, where we see where the price action is heading. I'm paying more attention to the news, and I feel like there's a lot of manipulation on the dollar. Strength. Yeah. There's a lot of volatility, right? A lot of volatility, different opinions on where it should be. So, hey ho. Right, I better get into my watch list because it'll take me some time. Aussie Singapore. This could be close. This could be close on this 4 hour. As I said on last week, I was looking at the context from here. Obviously, I do like the higher time frames. I'm going to continue to watch this. I don't know whether this is too impulsive for me. I've got my minimum 5 bar. So waiting to see how this 4 hour closes. If we close as a 4 hour inverted hammer coming on increased volume, that may be nice. Again, it's something, whenever I take a trade, or I always go in again and kind of reanalyze it. For example, Euro Yen, right? Remember I had Euro Yen on my list last week, and I was looking at potential aggressives. And there was here, right? So there was a setup here on this 4 hour coming on increased volume. And I didn't take it because I went in again, right? And as I always do with this daily and weekly, and I just thought there was something there that my gut didn't like in terms of aggressive long. I just thought that maybe, not that the yen would get some strength, I just didn't like the position it was in as much at that point in time to take an aggressive long. And ultimately that was a pretty good call. So I always kind of go in again. So I'll do that the same if I do get a catalyst here on Aussie Singapore, which... the only issue for me now is the strength of this pullback. We don't want to turn into more of a V reversal rather than that nice kind of small, rangy pullback coming back to the area. So let's see. Aussie Singapore potential shorts. Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar. This is on a daily chart. I'm looking for a real break on this daily. Potential 4-hour retest here for Kiwi dollar and Aussie dollar. But still got a little bit to go on that. Still got a little bit to go with the daily. I need a proper break on this daily to think about as a daily retest. Same with the Kiwi, I feel. Yeah. We had some slight wicks to the downside, a little bit of rejection on Friday, so we're looking for this to really break through. If it does come up and gets a little bit messy, I just take it off and I move on to the next pair. So looking for this to kind of come back down and really break before it retests. And the last one is USD ZAR. USD ZAR getting a little bit wicky here to the upside and looking for a retest on this daily chart. Normally with your breaks, you kind of like to see a strong push there to the upside. So I know this is not broken from deep, but this is why I really like that accumulation, because when you get that few bars, a few days of accumulation, you normally do see a decent break. So, you know, I'm wary of a rainbow retest here, and I'm going to watch how price action retraces back to that area around that 20. Still got a bit to go on USD ZAR long. Okay, breakout retests. Crypto is back here with Dash. Here at this V reversal, obviously everything's pointing at the moment from a technical side to crypto to the downside. We've had a decent bit of digestion here on Dash 4 hour, digesting this latest impulse to the downside. Again, looks ready to move, absolutely for me. Daily 20 is there. It's just in a good position to move now. Setups coming on the 30-minute, 1 hour, V reversal, coming back into it. We're looking for this. Here, pullback, breakout, retest, continuation down. That's what I'm looking for Dash, and I like that play. Very simple. On Aussie Singapore, just before London, I'd open. I expect a stop loss hunt liquidity and then short. Yeah, so I mean, essentially on your 4 hour, right? Considering the 4 hour closes in about what two and a bit hours, you could get that. In which case, that may be your entry, right? So you get your, if I zoom in here, if you get your kind of inverted hammer, your liquidity, your stop hunt on smaller time frames around London Open, volume coming in, which you'd expect to come in as London opens up. There's your catalyst, right? So yeah, maybe. Let's see. 19,000 level on Bitcoin seems strong. So we are kind of getting, you know, yes. Yeah, you're right, Martin. You're right. And this is what I mean by maybe it just needs a little bit more time. You know, we think about here. This doesn't have to be the same thing, because for me that was, you know, that was certainly enough digestion. For here, this is why I say maybe it needs a few more days. And I know I'm looking at Dash shorts, but I think the daily chart on Dash seems a wee bit better than Bitcoin. So, I mean, you could be into your complex here, potentially. A, B, C, and then down, which actually I think if it does that, if it does do this, sorry, I'm not writing very well. A, B, it's actually quite hard to write with the mouse. C, right? That would look a lot better. You know, and you're looking at opportunities to short it up there. I think, you know, considering that you've had that before, right? So we had that decent area of digestion where you think, okay, it's kind of ready to move here. Fake out, and then off we go. Maybe we do something similar. You know, trapping retail long up here. You know, the essentially the premise of the ABC, right, is trapping retail short, trapping retail long, and then the big boys get involved and we start to move to the downside, which is what we're trying to get involved in. So you could be right in terms of the creation of B wave. But 4 hour does look like it can move to the downside. It does. It does look like it can move to the downside. So in terms of bias for Bitcoin, I think it needs a few more days. I still think it needs a few more days. And we could get C wave. But ultimately, bias is down. But Dash essentially, if that's what I'm looking at, breakout retest down to the, keep going down. EuroCAD and EuroKiwi. So EuroCAD I was looking at this morning, obviously on that downtrend. On a daily, the trend is your friend. 4 hour perspective is quite good. context here on the hourly 30-minute cup with handle, breakout, move this back, breakout, retest, continuation down. Right, here we go, up in here, looking to break out, retest, move to the downside, EURUSD. Not much to say on that trade, going with the trend, we're not extended, we're in a decent position, we're looking to break a key level, and I like that short, EURUSD. Euro NZD is slightly different, probably not something I like as much, but if the SPX decides to have a slight push, key will be affected, but you know, getting some strength. It seems to be getting some strength over Asia. That could change over London. But we know what the euro's like. You know, we've had those impulsive moves that have been sold into, you know, and that's what we're kind of getting here. Impulsive move, you know, are we getting a little bit of a loss of momentum here in the 4 hour? Now, it is counter trend, but you could look at this as trend as well. So if we switch over to the weekly here, you know, we can see that wicks to the upside on the weekly from this latest. So it could be just a deeper retracement, although I don't like that. Could be a deeper retracement before we move to the downside here on Euro NZD. Again, something that I'm going to look at, daily confluence for a short, you've absolutely got there with your inverted hammer coming on volume. So that's what's getting me in from a higher time frame perspective. But then we can't forget that it is counter trend. I'm going to consider this counter trend because we have, you know, certainly moved pretty healthy to the upside for quite a consistent amount of time, breaking through highs. And technically, this is a change of trend. But there's something getting me in there for Euro NZD short. So I'll be looking for a retest of this area. You can see that V reversal. You can see that digestion. It's all pretty good. Retest to go to the downside. Smaller time frames, we're just crossing over these 20. Smaller time frames, we're crossing over the 200. It basically crossed the price, basically next to price action. So if you get a retest, you've kind of got that dynamic resistance to price as well. If it's coming back to that area where you get that 20 there, you know, if your stop's roughly around here, previous swing, you've got that dynamic resistance to your stop as well. So Euro NZD, and the last one, which I have 3 options for, is the 225 shorts. So here I'm looking at the same thing, breakout retest. If this wants to push on, then I take it off. But from a 4 hour and daily perspective, I'm still looking at this short. Needs to come down and tag this area. Daily as well, needs to come down and tag that area. Needs a 20 period catch up. But I'm still looking at the 225 short, and I like where that, you know, where that chart is. I like where that chart is. There could also be an option here if it comes down to this area, right? Let's say it's in this corrective, comes down here, and we get a third structure, whatever it may be, an ABC, a channel corrective, or whatever it is. There's obviously a potential there for aggressive entry short on the 4 hour as well as on the daily as well. So I'll be watching 225. If this comes down, which it kind of has to come down now, then the breakout retest is on the cards from B wave, right? From this area on smaller time frames. ABC, push on, needs to come down, breakout retest, move to the downside. 225 potential shorts. I'm in USD Yen Long Continuation, looking good possibly for the long list. I'll have a look at that. I've just got a few more breakouts to go. The ones I've added to the list is Aussie Kiwi, Aussie New Zealand. Here, 4 hour perspective. Again, it is a counter trend idea, but there's confluence here from the weekly. You can see our evening star here on the weekly. We're seeing wicks to the upside. You can kind of make out your head and shoulders here on the daily, which again is getting me that in for Aussie Kiwi shorts. And certainly, you know, the dominant price action recently is bearish, right? So it is a counter trend idea. I understand the risks of that, but there's certainly things getting me in there for Aussie Kiwi short. What I'm looking for is at this area. We could be looking for a head and shoulders as well if we're getting this. But this is our initial basing structure. Need this latest impulse to digest, where we can look for an aggressive entry and we can look for a breakout on Aussie Kiwi, maybe for probably end of the week. Aussie Kiwi, pound Aussie. Pound Aussie is there. You're trying to enter on the right shoulder, so basically kind of like an aggressive entry. Silver, right? So you're trying to get involved somewhere up here. But no retest on the setup. Retest? What do you mean retest? Or are you talking about from a daily perspective? Here. You were trying to enter somewhere up here? I actually don't like when there's this many trades on my watch list. I prefer to have like 4 or 5 to look at. But when you go through like 20 pairs, it's like, Jesus Christ, there's so many things to look at here. 30-minute on top of the last structure. Yes, there. Okay, fair enough. So you didn't get it in. So I presume you're looking for something similar to me now, right? Where you can use this as your context and looking to get an aggressive or a, excuse me, or an entry somewhere in here, right? To come back down to break to the downside. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. The last one is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ 100. So this is kind of similar to the SPX, but you notice our level is a bit more clearer here in terms of recent price action. So we're getting our V reversal, and we're getting within this corrective structure. We're obviously going with trend. Right? The daily is pretty good in terms of, we look at that similar to the SPX, where we're saying, okay, it looks like it's retested this area. There's our evening star. We're looking for this trend to continue, right? So we don't need to analyze this so specifically because, again, keeping things simple, it's going down. Let's look at selling this. Okay, 4-hour perspective, I don't think this has digested this move just yet. I still think from a price action point of view, I know it's got back to that 20, but I just think from a price action view, it just needs a couple more bars to digest that latest impulse. In which case, if it does come up, I could look at an aggressive entry. The only issue I have with an aggressive entry with this is this type of price action here, right? Not a massive fan of that. It'd be different if we had, similar to this where we're just coming back. Then yeah, okay. But the fact that we've got this, it just makes the chart a little bit messy. And unless it neatens up for me, looking for an aggressive entry and a really great catalyst, I prefer to probably look for this as a breakout. But NASDAQ 100, yeah, it's very simple stuff here. Going with trend, need a little bit more accumulation. If I don't get an aggressive, ultimately I'll be looking for this to kind of come up around here, come back, 20 period is kind of close by, a few bars of accumulation, break down. Break it down, and I will go with it. I will ride that wave. Whew. Okay, done. Right, USD Yen. So this is it. Yeah, USD Yen. I think I'm... USD CAD. Oh, sorry, I didn't do USD CAD either. USD CAD is the last one. USD CAD on this daily, I'm still looking for an aggressive. We are continuing with this channel corrective on USD CAD. Remember, we have had a good move to the upside. It's at the point now where if we can get, it might not be your ABC. Again, you could say DE or just channel corrective. Get something in down here to go long. I would like that. But ultimately looking for a breakout long on USD CAD. Okay, USD Yen, and put in anything you guys want me to look at. I know, Martin, you put in something as well. I'll do that as well before I forget. I am recording this, right? Yeah, I am recording. USD Yen Long Continuation. Yeah, I'm not really comfortable. From the way that I'm looking at this, right, I worry that this is maybe a slight loss of momentum here. Remember, where we've come from is been a hell of a ride on USD Yen, right? I mean, you could be looking at maybe a potential break of a rising wedge here, and maybe we get some downward movement, right? Yes, I agree. Trend continuation, I agree with that. But I would just worry about it a little bit. No, I just worry. Yep, you could be getting support off here. But from okay, look, from a 4-hour perspective, yeah, I can understand it, right? If you're looking from a smaller time frame perspective as well, you could get some pips out of it, potentially on a pullback here. But I don't know how much more this can go, and it needs a proper reset for me. And this is sometimes where you see it when you're getting this. You're not getting much reward here for the buyers in terms of higher highs, and this is what I usually call that loss of momentum, and it might need that harder reset before it continues to move to the upside. Yen has been getting a little bit of strength. I know the dollar, if the yen strengthens up, the dollar will likely strengthen up, but it's usually going to be the stronger of the two. Markets tumble, maybe you'd expect the yen to be. So yeah, I would understand it. I personally wouldn't be buying the USD yen there, John. Personally. But I've been wrong many times. Okay, Martin. Oh, USD Yen. Are you looking long as well? What does everyone else think? Not many setups for me today. Trying to price. Good trading is boring trading. Absolutely. Good trading is boring trading. Yeah, John, I mean, that's just my opinion. Again, that is just my opinion. Just my opinion. Are you looking for a break of structure here, Martin? On a daily? Looking to short it? Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I can't do that. It doesn't fit my strategy, but I think that the shorting the USD Yen has more potential than longing the USD Yen. At this time, you know, at what we're seeing here for now. Someone at my door. Excuse me. But yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think it could have a reset. Ultimately, trend is up. Hold on, guys. There's someone at my door. I'll just be back in 1 second. Oh, sorry, guys. Someone at my door. Break at the trend line. Can't hold the fib level and then go down to at least. Yeah. Yeah, I could see it. I could certainly see it. I could certainly see it. Let's see where it goes, huh? That'll be interesting to see for tomorrow. Who's going to be right, Martin or John? Let's see. Okay, anything else you guys want me to look at before I head off? As I said, for me, I'll be looking at Aussie Singapore as the main one, I'd say, for today, seeing what happens in that 4 hour. And then EU is still in. I think this comes back down. It may be coming down and potentially over London Open. Let's see. And then we got a few of those Euro NZD as well. I'm interested in this one. I do kind of like this one. So interested to see how that retraces. And then we got all the other breakouts. I've got a bit to go. Right, guys. Have a great day. As I said in my announcement, by the way, here, the end of this month, the last week of July, first week of August, I'm going to take some time off and just refresh before Simplicity launches, just to have a wee break. And I'll let you guys know on this Discord, basically what date I'm coming back, just for that confirmation. And then everybody that's on the kind of everybody that's on a longer term plan, I'll just move you over. Right, I'll send you an invite. I'll move you over. That'll stay the same. I'll give you all an extra month because I know I've been quite quiet the last little few weeks, and then we'll go from there. Simplicity. It's the new RTFX, John. So. Basically, I'm changing the name. We're doing a little bit of a rebranding, and we're going to be known as Simplicity Trading. Here we go, Simplicity Trading. Here, there's a few reasons for it. There's some regulations and red tape reasons for it from a UAE perspective, Dubai perspective. For example, I can't market the company now, because of the word Forex. It's a whole thing. It's such a nightmare, to be honest. So that's one of the reasons why we have to change. It's a few things I've learned from RTFX. I'm changing the website slightly. I'm obviously redoing the Trading Academy, which won't be done by the time of launch, but I'm going to discount all the rates because of that. It's too much to do. I'm just one man. And that's essentially why I'm doing it, John, is that, I have a vision for what I want RTFX or Simplicity Trading to be, and it simply won't get there with how it's currently set up. So Simplicity Trading, and we'll have other things in. Again, like I said, I want to organize a trading psychologist once a month. There's other people that I want to get involved in. So yeah, just a rebranding essentially. No worries. No worries. All right. Have a great day, guys. Have a lovely Monday, and I'll see you all in the morning. Peace.